Normally, when it comes to questions like who do you want to be remembered as, what's the legacy you want to live when you leave this earth, these types of questions I don't usually answer quite often because I'm not really thinking about those things. I'm still in my life, I'm still trying to figure out what I actually want for my life. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going in terms of like a career path, in terms of something that'll actually be fulfilling and fruitful for me. But I was asked this question recently and I entertained it. And then just kind of off the fly in my head, I came up with kind of a framework, a thing that actually was just, in my opinion, actually pretty genius. Like, it was pretty beautiful as to how I would describe my legacy, how I want to be known as on this earth, right? What do I want people to describe me as in the future, right? Based on what I've accomplished, based on my character, based on who I am, based on things that have happened in my life, right? And I came up with three words that start with the letter F, and it's clean, it's simple, it's sweet, and it kind of gets pretty much everything that I kind of aspire to be. It gets the point home. It drives that point home just in three words. So when I'm asked the question, what legacy do you want to live? What legacy do you want to leave behind? What do you want people to describe you as? The three words: fun, formidable, and faithful. And I'll kind of break down why those are three words, and that's why I just kind of came up with this around the fly. And then I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, huh, like that's actually pretty good. Like that's a pretty good motto, a pretty good thing to aspire to be, right? I don't really know the nuance of it. Like I don't know what actually specifically is going to happen, like with career, with relationships, with whatever, right? But I know that in all of it, those are the three values that I want to kind of show off, right? Those are the values that I want to be at the forefront of who I am as a person throughout my life. So for fun is very simple, right? I want to enjoy my life, right? I want to kind of not prioritize enjoyment, but I don't want to be that guy that works all the time and doesn't actually get any satisfaction out of his life because he's the guy that's greedy and always looking for more and more and more in his life. I want to actually spend time enjoying things. That means traveling. That means going, doing fun things with people. That means if I'm working hard or if I'm in school doing some hard studying, I'm not going to be the type of guy to say, "Oh no, I can't go out with you guys because I'm focusing on this." Maybe sometimes I will, but for the vast majority of things, I'm going to be like, "No, let's spend the time. Let's have some time to enjoy this life." I truly believe that we've been given this life and we need to enjoy it. We are allowed to let loose once in a while. Sometimes I struggle with that, but I want to be the type of guy that has fun, that is capable of having fun, that can be like a fun guy to be with, right? I think I've done an okay job so far, but I'm still of course learning and growing, right? I want to be a fun guy to be around, fun guy that I can help other people, be the light and salt of the world, help other people of course enjoy themselves as well. But also I want to be a person that enjoys my life. Like I don't want to be someone who is just so just locked into something that is just draining them and draining them slowly, right? Even when I was going out there and I was on my football career, football journey, I still took some time. I mean, for the most part, it was a pretty hard grind. Honestly, when I look back on it, it was a pretty hard grind. Maybe that's what drained me a little bit. Maybe that is what truly drained me a bit near the end of that time, right? Because I truly was. I remember like it was about a year ago where I was like kind of over here questioning things, like being like man, like why am I so tired? Why am I so drained? Right? Like I have this pro trial coming up. I can't be like this. I got to keep going, right? So maybe I should have had some more fun. Maybe I should have done more fun things. But I always spent some time every once in a while to go out and let loose a little bit, have fun with the people that were closest to me. And I met amazing people. I met some amazing friends out there. So so I look back at a lot of those memories and I cherish them, right? So I want to make new memories to cherish in my life as well. I want it to be fruitful and I want to have a lot of enjoyment out of life, right? Not just focus solely on the work side. Of course, the work side is important. I'm not demeaning that, but I'm saying that I don't want to just do that. I want to, of course, set some time aside to be a fun person, to be fun to be around, and to have fun myself with the people that I truly love and care about. The second one is formidable. And formidable basically that's like kind of the work side, right? So I want to be competent at what I do. I want to continue to learn and grow in my life that I may be formidable in things that I go and choose to go and do, right? Whatever it may look like in my life, right? I'm currently trying to get my personal training license. I'm currently trying to get my coaching licenses to be a coach. In those things I want to be formidable. I want to be good at what I do. That other people look at me and they appreciate, "Oh yeah, this guy is good at what they do." right? And I want to be the type of guy that is working hard, that is able to undergo certain difficulties to overcome the challenges and bear even more fruit, right? Get at the end of the struggle, find kind of the answers really to the problems I'm facing, right? So being formidable, being the type of guy that gets things done, being the type of guy who means what he says, whose his word is his bond. These are concepts that I've talked about on this show many times, and things that are still very, very much at the forefront of my mind when I'm thinking about how I want to live my life. And the word formidable really does kind of encapsulate all of it. It encapsulates all of it. The hard work, the grind, the dedication, the being the kind of guy who means what he says, being the kind of guy that goes above and beyond in certain situations, and being the guy that is good at what he does. Whatever it may be, whatever I go and do, that I may learn, that I may grow, that I may be the guy that works hard enough to end up becoming good at whatever thing he does, right? So it's basically like a level of competence, but it's also kind of in relation to all of these other things. And I think that's also an important part of life. You have to have enjoyment, but you can't just have enjoyment because well, first of all, you need to make money somehow. If you want to travel the world and you want to have that high level of enjoyment, you need to make the money somehow, and that is by pure hard work and the pure grind of it, and just going in and dealing with the difficulties, right? And being able to overcome those stresses. So that is probably a more important part of life, and that's probably the thing I'm working on the most right now, along with the faith, of course, which I'll talk about as the next one, right? But like when it comes to work versus play, right? Like the grind, the difficulty versus the fun, the joy, the enjoyment. It's like you need to have a balance of it. You can't just enjoy life. I want to enjoy life as much as possible, but to get there, you need to work hard, and also if you only have the enjoyment, that means like something else has to change. Like something else is different, right? In life, there's only trade-offs, right? So you either prioritize even more work or you prioritize even more enjoyment. You can't really have it both ways. But for me, I want to try and find that balance where it works, where I'm working hard, where I'm formidable in what I do, where I'm competent and I'm good at the stuff that I do. Whatever, I don't really know where I want to go yet, but wherever life takes me, basically, to be good at the stuff that I do and work hard so that from the fruits of my labor I can spend as much time as possible enjoying it, right? I don't want to be that type of guy that just hoards his money and doesn't do anything with it, and it just has it in a savings account and they just live below their means for their whole life, right? It's like you have to live below your means for a little bit, but then eventually if you get to the point where you have some exit velocity, I can, I definitely want to be the type of guy that will spend a little bit, that will be sure to provide and have that moment, share those memories with people that I truly care about and love in my life. But that side doesn't come without the formidable side. And the formidable side, I'd argue, is even more important when it comes to kind of the longevity of my life. The more fun I will be able to have is based directly on how formidable I am in my work and in how I go about my business, right? So that's why that's the second word, formidable, because it kind of encapsulates all of it. It kind of wraps everything up in one really nice, neat, and tidy word. And yeah, that's why I put it in there. And of course, the final one, faithful, right? Faithful for me means a couple of different things, right? Of course, as the other ones mean a couple of different things. Faithful means first and foremost my faith to God. As I'm continuing to develop in faith, that is of course the thing that needs to be number one for me in my life, throughout my life. Because all we have is faith. That is the only thing that you kind of have that can be a constant in your life. Everything else is uncertain, but the faith and God's love, the word of the Bible, that stays the same. That doesn't change, right? So in my life, I've been lucky that early enough I've recognized how important a relationship with Jesus is, how important my faith is to everything else that I do, and in even like this year, the current difficulties that I've been dealing with. Like if I didn't have faith, I imagine that it would be much worse for me. Like even with faith and even going down praying on the things I'm dealing with, it's tough, right? Because life's hard, right? That's how it is. But without faith, I feel like I would have crumbled in an even worse way. I truly do think that because there were really moments in the last few months that were not good. Like I was not in a good headspace at all, and it showed in some of these episodes. If you watch some episodes that were uploaded back in like March, April type time, you know that you could tell by some of my demeanor that it was not at the level. So becoming more faithful is of course growing in faith, overcoming fears that I have, and kind of stepping forward into things. Really, it's like faith is the foundation for everything else, right? becoming a formidable person, it involves faith. It involves you have to be faithful to overcome the fears, to go through the process of learning, knowing that on the other side of it, or believing that on the other side of it will be something good for you, and of course for the people around you. But making sure you always put God first and you glorify God in all that you do. That is faith to me, and that is something that is super close to my heart and super important to me. How I want to go about things, right? But faithfulness, of course, God is number one in my life. But faithfulness also means, like just the word, it also means being faithful to the people around me. So whether it is in a relationship, like a deep romantic relationship, or just with my friends and with my family, be faithful to them. Be faithful to those that supported me during the come up. Be faithful to those that are with me, that I've had as friends, and that I've gotten close to throughout these few years, and not kind of like not just cut them off, right? I don't want to be the type of person to cut people off in my life. Like I know there's some culture online where it's like, oh yeah, as you grow in life, you have to cut people off and you have to have a new circle of friends. Like I don't want to be the type of guy to just ruin relationships. I'm not trying to do that. Like in my friend group right now, there's some beefs and things going on. I don't want to be the type of guy that's involved in that. I love these guys, man. Like I love the guys I'm with right now. And yeah, I think I definitely want to expand my circle, but like that doesn't mean I want to cut them off. So I want to be faithful to them. That I want to even as I grow older, no matter what I do, if I have successes, if someone else in the friend group has successes, that I stay with them by their side through it all, right? And it's the same thing with the family, right? I don't want to ever lose the relationship with the people that I love, right? So I have to stay faithful to them, and I have to know that like they are people out there that love me, so I have to love them back, and that's my duty, that's my calling here, first and foremost, to focus on the people around me, right? And if and when I ever get into a romantic relationship, being faithful, being loyal, those are things that not only from the Christian perspective, but also just from my personal values as well. That's something that means a lot to me, because it's like I think of, okay, here's how I explain it. I think about it's like if I had a woman and she cheated, right? I would think like I can't even fathom just how bad that would be of a feeling in my mind. I haven't experienced it yet, thank God, but maybe in the future I might, right? And that's just a terrible thing. So it's like, why would I want to be the person to do that to someone else, right? First and foremost, that's the thought process, but also because of the fact that it goes against God's teaching, it goes against His word, and it is very, very bad sin. So to be faithful, to be loyal to the partner that I have chosen until things are actually like officially broken off, if it doesn't work well, or until we eventually, hopefully, get to the point where we make the decision to be with each other for the rest of our lives, right? Whenever I get into that relationship, that's the thing that I prioritize, being faithful to them, right? So hopefully I'd want someone that's also faithful to me, right? So I think about these things. So being faithful as a word, as how I would describe myself, how I would want other people to describe to me, is not just because of my faith in God. Of course, that's number one, and that's what's most important to me. But it's also because of faithfulness that I should show to the people that are around me in my life, the people that are truly the closest to me, because that's what matters, right? Your career, the money you make, that really is nothing. Like it's all material. It doesn't really mean anything, right? What means a lot more is your faith, your belief in God, and the people you have around you, right? The love that you share between the people around you. That is what's going to be the most close to you in your life. That is what you're going to cherish when you're on your deathbed. You're going to cherish those times, and whatever deathbed regrets you might have to do with times that you sacrificed your family, or you sacrificed your relationship with your kids, or whatever, because you went on this financial journey, or whatever the thing might have been, right? Whatever the thing might have been. You think about deathbed regrets and all the things people talk about on their deathbeds versus the things that they cherish on their deathbeds. It's like it's a good guideline to understand that, like, yeah, the people around you want to keep them close, right? You want to keep them close, and you want to have great relationships, right? So for me, it kind of sucks that like some of the people I've met in Portugal and people I met in Spain, like I've tried to keep connected with a few of them, and that's great. But a lot of them we kind of haven't really been talking, and like I love these guys, right? Like I love these guys when I was there, and I would like to keep continuing with these relationships. But unfortunately, some people come, some people go, some people stay, and that's life, right? But I don't want to be the person to lose faith in them, and I don't want to be the person to cut them off for whatever reason, right? So that's kind of how I would want to describe myself, and that's how I would want other people to describe me. Fun, formidable, and faithful. It's just honestly, it's pretty clean. It's pretty just it kind of just gets the point home. But those are the explanations as to why those are the three words that I would describe myself as. And it's, again, three words of the same letter, and it's, as humans, we like that. As humans, we like that kind of thing that rolls off the tongue, and this is something that really rolls off the tongue. Maybe I would flip it around to faithful, formidable, fun. Like, probably because that would maybe be the order of it. Fun, formidable, faithful was just the order I kind of came up with it in. But like, if you were to flip it around, probably it would be, you'd flip it and you'd say faithful, formidable, and fun in that order. But regardless, I think that would make sense for me, right? I'm not there yet, right? And that's the ultimate truth, right? And if you've watched enough of these episodes, you know that there are things that I fall short in. And a lot of the concepts I talk about on this show are things that I fall short in myself, things that I'm thinking about myself that I don't really go, and I don't really do well, and I'm talking about it, expressing my ideas on the show so that maybe it can get in my mind somehow, or at least it's encapsulated in time forever, on the internet forever. So at least if I ever decide to move back to it, that I can use that as a reference, that I may do better and improve in this way. So there are many things I have to improve on, right? I have to really improve on all three, right? As a faithful person, as a person trying to seek the Lord, I'm always growing in that. You never kind of get to the top, right? I sin, I fall short all the time, and I have to pray, and when I pray, I humble myself. I'm in moments of shame because I fell and I've sinned, right? And it's hard to not feel the shame, but you have to remember the covenant that Jesus gives, and that's a whole part of the faith as well. But I fall short, right? And I'm still growing in faith, growing in my knowledge of the Bible. Like, I've had like discussions and arguments with people about stuff in the Bible, and I wouldn't even have a good enough response to things. That means I have to strengthen myself even more. So you never get to the point where you're 100% faithful. It's always a journey. You're always growing, right? So that's what I'm working on. And of course, to be formidable, I definitely think I have to work harder in my life. I definitely think that I'm in a position now where I'm still in like a transitional phase. I'm still looking for what I want, really, like, from my life in general. But well, not actually, no, not in general, more specifically. Like, these three are the things I want in general. But more specifically, I'm trying to hone down what I want. And I have to maybe work a little harder. I feel like sometimes I'm a little bit lazy. Sometimes I fall into, some YouTube, some scrolling, right? The types of things that a lot of people nowadays fall into. And it's something that I want to cut out. It's definitely something that I want to do better in, to grow and become more formidable, right? Become the person that is competent at things. There are things that maybe I don't know enough about that I should continue to learn about, that I may become formidable at it. And when it comes to having fun, I also at the same time need to learn to let loose at times. Sometimes if I'm like kind of in the mode of work, like if I'm like in that difficult moment in life, it's harder for me to kind of distance myself from it, learn to relax and reset a bit. I need to learn to do that a little bit more. I need to learn to have real meaningful fun, not just just garbage, right? When I watch YouTube, sure, you watch funny videos and stuff. It's funny, but it's not fulfilling, right? What's fulfilling is real fun by doing things with the people you love around you that are fun, right? So when I went to Niagara, that was a fun trip because we had so many great laughs. We made so many memories that were not based on screens. They were based off of just spending time with people and physical things, right? So I also have to learn to kind of let go a little bit at times. Like, there was the other day, like, my friends invited me to go do something. I didn't want to go do it because I had to go do a workout. And like, that's the kind of thing where it's like, okay, you could maybe move and work around it, right? If you aren't so picky about what you do, right? It's like that's the truth, right? So I have to work on all three, right? But it's like, at the end of my life, or if like even in like the next few years, like if you were to ask one of my closest friends how you would describe me, and I would think that is what I would want to be. And I still have to work to get there. I understand that I'm really nowhere near there. But just to have those three words as like a guideline for me, it's a very good thing. So I encourage you to come up with some sort of like a motto similar to that rolls off the tongue, that's easy to remember in your mind, that you know what things you have to go and do to get to that point in your life as well. So that's what matters most to me. And that is really it for this episode. I was just kind of talking about it because it was something that was interesting that came up in my mind. That's pretty much all of these episodes. It's something interesting, so I wanted to talk about it. So I talked about it. That's it for this episode. Thank you for watching this 365 podcast video. There are many other great videos that I've made on this show already. Of course, this is episode 270 something, 274 or 75 or something like that. So we're getting through it. We're almost at the end. We're really in like the final stages of this show, which is an episode every day for a whole year. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. If you've followed the show pretty consistently, I hope you have. And if you did, please show your support in any way that you can by leaving a like, subscribing on YouTube, following on Spotify if you haven't done that yet, leaving a comment, let me know what you think of my framework, what framework you might put for yourself. Like if you had to ask the question, what would your legacy be? What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want other people to describe you as? What would be the word or words that you would put towards that? Think about that. You don't have to write a comment about it if you want to, sure, but like think about it for yourself as a reflective piece to help you do better in your life as well, to figure out where you want to go and what your values are and how you want those values to be seen in the world. So thank you for watching this episode of the 365 podcast. Go watch some of the other good episodes that I've made on this show this last week. Even this last week alone, I've made some good stuff. So go check it out. Thank you for watching. And really, that is all I got to say for today. So continue to glorify God every day throughout your life. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode.